Hey guys, what it is your girl Cadillac. Yes, I'm Cadillac Dixon. I'm the Draw My Life prison wife. I'm the legally blind artist that is rapping and painting for justice, hoping, because you got to hold your breath for justice, to see justice before all face to bleak. Yes, it's your girl Cadillac. Anyways, guys, I'm coming through May the 18th, 2025. It's hot. It's hot. Oh my gosh, I'm in Florida and it's hot. Yes, I had to use my rapper voice, but I'm sitting in the car. I'm trying to keep the air down because it'll make noise in the video, but oh my gosh. So if you hear a little rumbling or whatever, that's the car. But anyways, we are here together today. We've gathered here today. I just got out of Vizzo. Girl, I am the OG prison wife. I have been a prison wife to a man that is wrongfully convicted, incarcerated, and wrongfully sentenced to 40 years in the Florida DLC, right? So I started out just trying to break my husband's story. And along the way, I found that so many other people are wrongfully incarcerated. So I now advocate for those wrongfully incarcerated because it's very hard to get out of a wrongful conviction. So we're going to read a petition today. Oops. Pardon Tory Lanez. Urge Governor Newsom to correct a deep injustice. Now he has 259,652 signatures thus far. I wonder how many he really needs, because the average petition doesn't get that many. So he might already have enough to do something. But you would assume him having celebrity status that of course his petition would get big, so maybe they're gonna be needing his to be even bigger. But anyways, we're gonna go ahead and read the petition, the issue. So that might have to be later because it says read full letter here. Maybe this is a downsized letter. I'll break it down because I'm getting better about separating my content. Okay, Daystar Peterson, professionally known as Tory Lanez, is currently serving a 10-year prison sentence, despite what his legal team describes as overwhelming evidence of prosecutorial misconduct. Girl, the leading cause of wrongful convictions, I do study them. The first leading cause is eyewitness misidentification. The second, prosecutorial misconduct. So I told you, these wrongful conviction cases, you can put them side by side. You can let's say you take the names off the file, put them in a stack, put the actual case file and just swirl them around, and you could almost put a new name on each case and it'll still be the same story. Like literally it's the same story, just a new face, new case. Okay, we, the undersigned, urge California Governor Gavin Newsom to issue a pardon. See, I thought his father was going for what is it? Is it compassionate release when you have a medical situation happen and they release you because it's going to be harder to deal with your medical situation while incarcerated? That's what I thought he was going for, but he's going out for a pardon. According to Lane's attorney, the conviction was not supported by conclusive physical evidence. They can wrongfully convict you on circumstantial evidence, and most times wrongful convictions don't have any hard, actual, tangible evidence. No DNA belonging to Lanez was found. This is cliche. This is happening in most of these wrongful conviction stories. If you don't want to believe me about the ones that are currently wrongfully convicted, look at the stories of those that have been exonerated. And their stories, when you look back, because hindsight is 2020, when you look back, they have the same aspects. No physical evidence. Like, this should have been clue number one, that he may not have done it if there's no physical evidence. But people aren't gonna, I don't know if Tory Lanez is innocent or guilty, because I don't know enough about a case. I do not call a case unless I know all aspects, and that takes research. That takes a lot. But I do know how the media, and even within the case, they only give you one-sided view of a case. And like I said, case is more like a cube. It's not a paper, this side, that side. It is more like a cube or some type of 3D object. There are multiple sides, and you need to see the full aspect of the case to actually be able to call it correctly. But they like you to just see one side or the other. Inculpatory evidence, exculpatory evidence. That's it. One side. Just like Coach CW said, that the judge said, I got two papers in front of me. One says you're all good. The other one says you're all bad. Which one is it that I am to believe? Because it's not really giving the full aspect of the person, the case. Okay, GUN shot residue was detected on both Lanez and Kelsey Harris, yet only Lanez DNA was tested. Sworn affidavits and eyewitnesses accounts that contradict the prosecution's narrative were ignored or suppressed. That's what they do. Like, if there's any witnesses that are in favor, this is your exculpatory evidence, they'll just leave that out. They'll delete as much exculpatory evidence as possible. And then what else can the jury come to but guilty, honestly? But verdict means truth. There's only one truth, but you can tamper with it so much that someone comes and concludes to another truth, simply because they don't have the missing pieces that they need to actually come to the real truth. And if you're trying to do a fair trial, why would you delete things that need to be known? It doesn't make sense. That's why I say trial, to me, allegedly, is nothing more than a stage play. I don't think it's really there to come to guilt or innocent in you. I think they already basically know that, what they're going to call. And it's just to play through the illusion of all your rights being upheld, allegedly. Okay. Among the newly presented claims, Lane's legal team cites a sworn affidavit from a bodyguard stating that Harris allegedly admitted to firing the GUN into the air before Lanez intervened. Additionally, an independent eyewitness, a neighbor with no connection to any party, testified that he saw two, and that's what I believe a real witness is. You see how they said no connection? Now, they'll use people like Kelsey was used as a witness. How are you a witness but you're gaining something out of it, right? I don't believe that's a true witness. Like, their testimony is going to be saving their own behind, honestly. But like this one is a witness that has no allegiance to any side. They're just coming forward and telling what happened. I believe that is a true witness, because the other witnesses, they have something to gain or lose in how the case is settled, right? Okay. Testified that he saw two women fighting and that the shots came from the passenger side of the vehicle where Harris was seated. Yet again, only Tory's DNA was tested against the magazine. Despite having no prior record of violence, Lanez was sentenced to a decade in prison. And like I tell y'all, I'm sorry to say this, but that is a short wrongful conviction. It's going to take you at least 10 years to get out of a wrongful conviction, most times. Now, he does have celebrity status. It may be a little quicker for him, but the shortest wrongful conviction I've covered is 9 years. It's going to take you at least that. That's fast. But most people, it takes decades. It takes 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 45. It takes that many years. My husband is on his 23rd year of being wrongfully incarcerated, and I haven't even scratched the surface. It takes that long. So before he can even really fight this, he'll be getting out, because he's already years in. Like, what year did he get convicted? What year did Tory Lanez get convicted? Let's see. Because he already can deduct that. And then if it's not a minimum mandatory, does California have 85% like Florida behind got 85%? Or do they have 65% like most other people? So he won't be doing that whole 10 years unless he has a minimum mandatory of 10 years. But still, I'm telling you, 10 years goes fast. Though it doesn't seem like it, and it sure don't seem like it to me, because I've done 23 years and I got about another 10 years with my husband on his wrongful conviction. And at this point, I'm like, we just got to survive this 10 years. It'll go by. I mean, it's sad, but that's how you get through these wrongful convictions, honestly, because the legal means are usually, they're off limits to us. Get sentenced. What year did he get sentenced? It's 22 or 23, right? 2023. So he's already got 2 years in. So he got about 8 more years. That, honestly, I'm being honest, is going to go by fast. And for me, what I say now, anybody with my husband, though he was wrongfully incarcerated, sentenced to 40 years. Just learning about this system and learning how many life sentences, or looking at Marcellus Williams, who we were fighting for, that had newly discovered evidence and they rushed and deleted him. Like, I'm starting to realize that anybody with an out date is truly blessed. So for him to get out and still have time. My husband is due to get out in his mid-50s. Went in, wrongfully arrested at 19. Wrongfully convicted by 20. And scheduled to get out 55, around that time. They've taken most of his life. And if they haven't taken most of his life, they've taken the best part of his life. So for Tory to be able to go in and come back out with a lot of life left, that's truly a blessing. Anybody, even my husband with his 40-year wrongful conviction, truly blessed to have an out date. Because, girl, they will give you life in a moment. And it don't have to be for nothing major. They will hand life out like it ain't nothing. So he's blessed. Even if he don't realize it, I think once he gets out of, he probably already does realize it, because he's they said he's been helping other incarcerated citizens, so I'm sure he sees the difference in his case and their case, and the sentencing for them and the sentencing for him. Like, I'm sure he already sees the difference. So they were being somewhat, even though they were wrongfully convicting him, if he is truly wrongfully convicted, it still was leniency on his life. Which makes me think that if he is there wrongfully, he has a purpose, and he's fulfilling that purpose by helping others get their stories out, get their cases open. Despite having no prior record of violence, Lanez was sentenced to a decade in prison. His attorney argues this was largely due to sentencing enhancements, typically reserved, for a weapon. You have to have, they up the ante. But see, my husband was only supposed to be sentenced to 10 years, but they not only wrongfully convicted my husband, they excessively sentenced him as well. So the 10 years, I'm telling you, still a blessing. We would switch with you, Tory, any day. Any day. Okay, me and my husband. Okay. Typically reserved for the most dangerous offenders, enhancements that former District Attorney George Gascon often dropped in cases involving GANG members and repeat violent criminals such as Raymond Danger Gonzalez, a Mexican MAFIA GANG member involved in the premeditated murder of 2 young men in 2017. Despite the brutality of the crime, under Gascon's directive, the enhancements were dropped. In May 2024, the outing of General Hospital actor Johnny Wachter in downtown Los Angeles, prosecutors under Gascon's initially declined to pursue sentencing enhancements despite clear evidence of organized theft and fatal violence. Lane's legal team further contends that key DNA evidence could not be retested and that the combination of shifting witness testimony, I love how they said that, shifting witness, because them witnesses, they'll go back and forth. So once they're examined, they'll say one thing, then they're cross-examined, they'll say another thing. Their stories, when they're caught in a lie, they'll retract, they'll try, and then they'll conflict because the people are not in the courtroom at the same time, the different witnesses. So the witnesses will not only conflict with themselves, they'll conflict amongst each other as well. So I like how he said that, shifting witness testimonies. And in the end, the jury still says guilty. I don't get it, but like, what trial was you watching? What was you doing? Was you asleep? Like, there are stories of that. The judge going to sleep. In my husband's case, the jury was already asking, how long will this be? Will this go into tomorrow? So juries don't even really want to be there. So are they mentally present? Like, what the heck mindset are they really in to decide a person's whole life? Well, at least the next 10 years of Tory Lanez. Okay, Lane's legal team further contends that key DNA evidence could not be retested and that the combination of shifting witness testimony and intense media scrutiny created an unfair trial environment. Now, Tory Lanez is serving a 10-year sentence under deeply contested circumstances. Alarmingly, he also recently survived an alleged attempt on his life while in custody, raising urgent concerns about his safety and well-being. This is not what justice looks like. This is their justice. I mean, I told you it's inverted. It's directly the opposite. This is the system. This is exactly how it works. You know, those things, those cliche things that we think, I have the right to this, and this, and I have a right to stand before a jury of my peers. Directly opposite is what you're going to observe happen, allegedly. And I'm innocent until proven guilty. You're going to observe that it's directly the opposite. You're guilty just because you've been arrested. People are going to think you're guilty, allegedly. So you soon find out that it's inverted. But this is their justice system, which I like to call it the injustice system. As Dr. Martin Luther King warned, injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere. Can I add? But most really just don't care. And this is why stuff like this happens. Because unless it's you or your loved one, you don't care. But it can easily be you or your loved one. This is one of those moments. We respectfully call on Governor Newsom to grant a full pardon to Tory Lanez, remove political motivated sentencing enhancements, order a full and impartial review of the case to ensure no one else is subjected to a similar injustice. Justice must be rooted in due process, fairness, and truth, not politics. Direct opposite. Let's ensure California is not a state where headlines matter more than truth. Sign a petition today. Decision makers: Gavin Newsom, California governor. No response. Okay, so let's read some of the supporters. There's probably a lot of them. I'll read a couple of them. Trisha from Jacksonville. For someone who could impact me so deeply and be rotting in prison is not what I imagined for Tory, Daystar Peterson Lanez. Everything he attributed to me, culture, the world, etc., wasn't just sound. It was a lifeline, a reminder that no matter how dark life gets, there's always hope. Daystar Peterson's story. Deshaun from Jacksonville. I've survived the worst life conditions and struggled with the circumstances of the community I was born into, pulling me one way and DEAD ends, waiting at the other. Until one day found Tory, Daystar Lanez, his music, his story, his resilience. His voice became a beacon, a light in my darkest moments. Shannon from Scarborough. As a musician, this has greatly impacted my life. I no longer have the desire to create in fear of my life, knowing the higher ups in the industry have treated Tory. Know how the higher ups in the industry have treated Tory. In order for me to release this fear and regain my confidence, I need this innocent man to be released from prison. I have lost faith in the justice system. Girl, we all have that blind faith. Don't feel bad, Shannon. We all have that blind faith until you really deal with it, and then you realize how it really is. And then you completely, your eyes opened. I call it like it's a trap door. You don't know it's there, but once you fall in that trap, that's when you quickly find out, but it's kind of a little too late at that moment. Okay, I've lost my faith in the justice system and its integrity or lack thereof. Wow. All right, guys, so that's all I got for now. I wanted to read his petition because I know as someone that is fighting for someone wrongfully incarcerated, it is very hard to get eyes on your petition. People won't even take the time to read it. And this is kind of a short petition. It's not even that long, but whenever people send me petitions, I read through them. I actually I don't just sign and I don't just discard. I read it, and if I'm compelled, I sign it. And that's all that anybody wants. I wanted that for my husband, but I see how his petition just sits there. They're actually soon are going to probably close his petition. This is my second petition for my husband. And if I don't get people to start signing it soon, they're going to close it. I'm not starting a third petition. I'm not. We just have to try to get through this last decade. But wanting it for myself. Have you ever heard that whatever you want for yourself is what you have to give? By me wanting justice it's for myself, because everybody attached to someone wrongfully incarcerated does the time with them. I can't rest until my husband is home. So I am vicariously wrongfully incarcerated with my husband. So I need freedom for myself as well as freedom for him. Freedom for him will be freedom for me. We're joined anyway because we're one. So I can't have my half incarcerated wrongfully and I be free. So because I know that feeling of just needing a helping hand, you really don't want to come to people. You don't want to beg people. You don't want to burden people, because everybody got their own problems and they have zilch any time to help you with yours. But if they could just take a few seconds out their day like you would want, if you were in a situation like this, your life could change. You can get back to your normal life, and you no longer will be begging people to come see and look at your petition and share your petition and stuff like that. So this is why I take the time, because I realize others don't have time to read it, or they won't take time, so I'm gonna read it for you. All right. Well, with all that said, I will talk to you guys a little later. I have another video. I did 2 last night. I am an artist. If this is your first time seeing me, I am the legally blind artist. I am trying to get my husband home before the last bit of my eyesight is gone. I draw pictures and I've gotten my artwork to many of the who's who in this world. Just trying to pass my artwork out with my story of my husband. The artwork gets people's attention, and then I want them to listen to my husband's story, but it never gets that far. They take the artwork, but they do not look into the story. So therefore, I don't get no help with my husband's case. But that's who I am, the legally blind artist, rapping and painting for justice. So my latest project, Reach the World, is a content creator, author, and spoken word poet, Richard Taylor. I was so tired last night, but I did the 3rd installment of Drawing Him live. That is out, and I'm gonna do the 4th one tonight. I might feel a little bit better because I am off today. All right, guys, so I will talk to you later. Here's your girl Cadillac. Thank you for tuning in, and just realize we're all in this together. Just like he quoted Dr. King, injustice anywhere is injustice everywhere. And that's true, because it's just a spin of the wheel. It could be this person today, it could be you tomorrow. And you're going to want what that same person wanted. But whatever you held back from that person will be held back from you. All right.